How were Danish forts in West Africa linked to the transatlantic slave trade? Imagine standing on a busy coast in West Africa during the late 1700s. Ships are arriving, goods are exchanged, and behind the scenes, a darker trade is taking place. Danish forts, like Fort Christiansborg on what is now Ghana, played a big role in this story. These forts were built by Denmark to control trade routes and resources like gold, ivory, and textiles. But as time went on, their purpose shifted. They became key points where enslaved Africans were held before being shipped across the Atlantic. The Danish West India Company managed these forts from the late 1600s through much of the 1800s. They used the forts to organize the capture and sale of enslaved people. Inside, there were dungeons and holding cells designed to keep large groups of captives. This made it easier for Danish merchants to load ships quickly and make more money. The forts, strategic locations along the coast, helped Denmark build alliances with local African leaders. These alliances ensured a steady flow of enslaved people, making Denmark one of the biggest slave trading nations. Between the years 1671 and 1825, over 600,000 Africans were transported to the Americas. Most of them went to the Danish West Indies, where they worked on sugar plantations under harsh conditions. These forts didn't just serve Denmark. They became part of a larger international network of slave trading. At first, only ships flying Danish flags used these ports, but later, other European nations' ships also traded there. This made the forts and ports important hubs for the transatlantic slave trade overall. When Denmark officially stopped participating in the slave trade in the late 1700s, these forts lost their primary purpose. Some plans were made to turn them into agricultural centers or trading posts, but their history remains tied to the forced migration of millions of Africans. From a broader view, these forts show how Denmark's early modern colonial efforts were driven by economic interests. They weren't just military outposts but parts of a system that linked Africa, Europe, and the Americas. This system relied on the forced movement and exploitation of enslaved Africans, which shaped the history of many nations. Understanding this connection helps us see how Denmark played a role in one of the most tragic chapters of global history.